You know, there's more than one way to invest in your kids' educational future. With the cost of room and board going through the roof, more and more savvy parents are buying their kids a home or condo and renting out the spare rooms to their classmates. The bonus, your kid could end up boarding for free. Barbara Corcoran is today's real estate analyst. Barbara, good to see you.
Nice to be here, Al.
So, you know, I guess when you run the numbers, you do the math, in a way, when you look at room and board, it's like rent, you know, and rent is like you're paying the landlord.
Yeah, well, who wants to pay money when your kid goes to college? It's bad enough you're paying the tuition, but here's an opportunity where rather than paying for the board, you can actually collect money from your college kids' friends by buying a house. It makes a good deal of sense.
Now, does it depend on the college town where your kid is going to school, whether this makes sense or not?
There are certain towns that the numbers make a lot of sense because you'll make a ton of money, but just about most college towns, when you do the math, it makes good sense. The most important number you want to keep your eye on is what does it cost to rent a room at the dorm, and you want to make sure you're renting your rooms for the same price. If that math works out, the house price and everything else works out with it.
So we take a look here. We've got a couple, like Flagstaff, Arizona. In 2004, a home was $169,000. Today,
3 years later,
3 years later,
$262,000. That's a $93,000 profit, and that's not just about yesterday's real estate prices. These prices continue to go up. Likewise with Charlottesville, Virginia, which is home to the University of Virginia. That price 3 years ago was $170. Today it's selling for $233. That's a $52,000 profit for the parents who bought those houses when the kids started their sophomore year.
And even towns where there's a small college.
Yeah, like in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where a small Lehigh University is, the price has gone from $207,000 to $247,000. That's a 19% profit, and that only made number 3 on the list.
Wow. Okay, so now let's figure it out. You get a house, okay, and you've got your kid, and then maybe 5 other students, and we assume that maybe it's about $300 per month?
If you go on most of the websites of all the colleges and universities in America, $300 seems to be the magic number. So if you collect 6 kids in your house and get $300 each, that's $1,800. Your total mortgage and all your other expenses come in at less than $1,500. So rather than paying $300 a month to get your kid in a bed in that dorm, you're collecting $325 every month, and that doesn't count the huge profit you're going to make when you sell the darn thing.
That's right. We're not even talking about the selling of it.
No, that's like a bonus that happens and you get a surprise on graduation day.
Wow, that's all right. All right, so now you say there's some tips. For example, first of all, you got to do your homework.
You've got to do your homework, and the main homework is find out what a bed costs in the dorm. The other main homework is you want to think about it when your kid goes into freshman year, because typically kids want to live in a house of their own when they go into sophomore year.
So you got to time your purchase.
Time your market, because what happens is kids sign leases in June every year. So you have from June until the following September to find a house. And so you have exactly 9 months to find a house while your kid's in his freshman year.
And as you've always told me, location, location, location.
Location is key, and the college kid's idea of a great location is within 2 miles of campus. For them, that's the equivalent of living around the corner.
And it's also important to rent this thing year-round, right?
Yeah, every kid will sign a 12-month lease. A lot of parents worry, and they say, oh, they're only going to be in school 9 months, so what happens? I'll have to take all the expenses myself in the summer. Forget about it. These kids are signing a lease, and not only that, the parents are willing to co-sign the lease.
Right. So make sure the parents co-sign.
You got to get the parents on the lease as well.
Now, who collects the rent and the repairs and all the home upkeep?
Well, the one person you don't want to collect the rent or make the repairs is your own kid. That's a great way to maybe teach some industriousness or something like that, but it's also going to make them lose all their friends in the house. So what you want to do is hire a professional property manager. They usually charge 5 to 6% of the rent roll, which is nothing because these houses more than happily pay it the way the numbers work. But you want a professional manager managing that house.
And then finally, what's the best way to finance something like this?
Well, there's 2 ways to do it. One way you could do it is you could co-sign the mortgage along with your kid. You'll get all the tax deductions. The kid will get half them, you'll get half them. And the other way to do it is do it entirely in your name. I like doing a co-sign because there's FHA financing that give college kids cheap financing.
All right, Barbara Corcoran, it's a great thought.
Okay, no, not a thought. This is something you want to match.
Do this.
Yeah.
Do this.
Do it and make some money.
That's right. All right. Rent is a terrible thing to waste. Okay, Barbara Corcoran, thanks.